Hi, good morning. This is Jason Tereska from LS Electric America. Thank you for waiting. We're waiting for still quite a few people to sign in, but it's almost 5 after the hour. And our presentation today is UL Air Circuit Breaker Introduction. What is a circuit breaker? Okay, circuit breakers, you can find circuit breakers everywhere. For example, electrical panels in your house. A circuit breaker is automatically operated electrical switch designed to protect an electrical circuit from damage caused by overload or short circuit. Common types of circuit protection, low voltage. So we have fuses, miniature circuit breakers, molded case circuit breakers, and then air circuit breakers. Today's class will be specifically regarding to LS Electric's air circuit breakers that are UL. Okay, where are air circuit breakers used? All types of plants, residential, some industrial, marine, mining, at the substation panel, for primary and secondary distribution, and at the low voltage sections. So these are widely used all over the world and for protecting loads. Okay, the main function is to protect the electrical line, electrical equipment, and on the load side, protection against overloads, of course, with long inverse time delay trips. Selective protection against short circuits with short, inverse, or definite time delay trips. Protection against instantaneous short circuits with adjustable trip or current thresholds, and protection against ground earth faults as well. So you see the network there. It starts with on a network at the top with an air circuit breaker, and then it's divided up over the individual branch circuits below with molded case circuit breakers, and then our MMSs, and then miniature circuit breakers as well. So a little bit of Ohm's law, voltage, current, resistance. So voltage is an electromotive force or a potential difference expressed in volts. Current is always in amperes. An electronic current is a flow of electric charge. An electrical circuit is charged off and carried by moving electrons on a wire, unless you obviously think of the protons, which is the inverse of that, but we'll stick with this, electrons. And it'll also be carried out in ions and electrolyte, or both by ions and electrons, such as in plasma. Resistance is just like a water pipe. The size of the water pipe, the resistance is in ohms. Electrical resistance, the repulsion of the current within the circuit. It explains the relationship between the voltage amount of electrical pressure, which is the electromotive force, and the current, which is the flow of electricity in that pipe. If the resistance is increased, the flow rate is lowered and the pressure is increased like a water flow. Electric arcs. So anytime you break an arc, AC or DC, they're very, very different. Today it's applied as AC. A voltage between two conductors greater than a maximum dielectric withstand and the medium between two conductors, irreversible deterioration of solid insulating materials, ionization of the material between the contacts, air, gas, oil, and obviously we could also do it in a vacuum for vacuum circuit breakers, which is not what the topic is today. The ionized insulating medium becomes temporarily conductive. Presence of an arc voltage according to the ionized medium and the type of electrodes. So these are very well designed specific materials used in these air circuit breakers to be able to withstand the making and breaking of under a load, and obviously the arc that's produced when the load is extinguished for an overload condition. Here we have the puffer technique that's just showing just a little example for the moving contact wave when an arc is drawn, the separation of contacts in the arcing, the lengthening of the arc and the blowout area in the space, and the extinction of the arc when the current reaches zero. So there's a definite arc power shoot as far as the classification of the breaker to be able to handle this arc at a repeated basis and the materials without having some degradation to the materials over time. Okay, another thing we have topic is the discrimination function. So guarantee of continuous service. So say we have two buildings here, right? One building has discrimination employed and the other building on the right does not have discrimination employed. So what happens if the building on the right, there has no discrimination? You can see what the light bulbs inside, what happens. So with discrimination, the electrical current from that arc from the clouds went through ground or whatever, or hit the building. It affected only one circuit on the ground floor or the first floor there, which might have a cafeteria or something like that. And the affected equipment opened up and devices tripped out, and then the rest of the building was able to survive. So people could go to safety or whatever, and then everything is still operating. The building on the right shows that if with no discrimination, the entire building goes out because the main is opened. So what is discrimination? Total discrimination is on the left. The power supply to the other feeders are still insured. And then we show a drawing here on the right with no discrimination, showing that both protected devices open at the same time. And that's not good. So now you're not only you did protect the device that failed, either ground fault or whatever, or had some electrical intrusion for excessive current, but also your mains also open at the same time. And then your mains serve everything on that network. And that means the whole network goes down. Now they're just showing another way of simulation for discrimination. So this is no discrimination. And this is also total discrimination. So this is the proper setup of your network. So you have a air circuit breaker at the top or a vacuum circuit breaker feeding in air circuit breakers on a network. And then all the breakers below that on the network are properly set up to be able to trip out and sends a signal to the network above it not to be able to open during that event. So it keeps everything else on the network alive. Key specifics for air circuit breaker selection: system voltage, the KAC breaking poles. Is it a 3-pole or 4-pole? Obviously, it's RST or RST and for neutral. Bus connections, vertical, horizontal, mix or front type, control, motorized operator, charge, shunt, overvoltage coil, and then obviously the breaker status with the auxiliaries. Does the customer want an ERMS or a maintenance safety function? That's asked a lot here at LS Electric. Obviously, everybody fixates their quality of OCR, protection device. You have a normal meter, power, and then super type. We'll go over them down here in the list. And obviously dimensionals. So air circuit breakers are much larger protected devices than multi-case circuit breakers. Modular designs, high up to 130 KA as far as braking capacity, and a full lineup to like 5,000 amps. I think we even have a UAH, we have 6,000 amps available. Satisfies the needs for compact size panels. We do have a compact air circuit breaker, very limited in stock, but they can be ordered. End phase conducting capacity is obviously 100%. So we have 100% duty on air circuit breakers, unlike multi-case circuit breakers that they have that 80 or 100%. Air circuit breakers are all 100% here from LS Electric. Okay, interchangeable trip units and rating plugs are available, and we do have them in stock. Okay, product overview. Safety. So monitor temperatures for safety, it's an option. We do have RTDs available and the little unit that interfaces with the air circuit breaker. Performs discrimination between the upstream and downstream levels, like I said earlier. User convenience, varied connection types available for main circuit terminals. That's the vertical, horizontal, or mix. Easy installation of accessories, interchangeable trip units and rating plugs, and intelligent trip relays. So featuring a variety of advanced functions all the way up to the super type. And they provide protection, of course, measurement, diagnosis, analysis, and communication. Typically, communication is Modbus RTU. Capacities and sizes. Okay, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but just as a brief overview, the heavy hitters are the UAHs from the 08, that's 32, and then from the 32 to the 5,000 units. So we do get some call from the UAS 08s. There's just a smaller dimensional unit. And again, stocking is there. We don't have a lot of them in stock, but then they can be ordered. Product detail, fixed type air circuit breaker. So the terms are on the right. It's just showing the AAA, the counter. We provide a counter for all of our circuit breakers. It's in our tools and it's on our product finder that automatically comes up. We provide it to the customer at no additional charge is included. Obviously an off button and an on button. Obviously the series name, we provide 2 plates on the side of the air circuit breaker. And we're showing here on one on the front, but if it's a configured unit draw, it might be on the side of the unit. And then one will show the OCR type, and then one will be the frame type. We have a charge channel, a rated nameplate, charge discharge indicator, closed open indicator, Obviously our logo, there's an arc cover for the zero arc space. That's what I explained earlier about the arc. Safety control cover, cradle optional, draw on handle, position indicator, handle inserting hole there at the bottom. Padlock buttons are options. We have padlock option. We have two-way and three-way interlock for generator set for locking in or locking out. Control covers and fixed height bracket, and then a rating plug are all explained there. The draw cradle type is not much different, except for it is a different frame on the unit around the casing around the air circuit breaker. These are ordered separately and as a separate unit. So if you want to go from one to the other, you have to let us know. Okay, product detail. So world-class braking capacity. So there is a video that I'm going to run at the end of the slide deck. I'm not going to break out of this now, but I do have this as a video showing 150 kA ampere at 500 volt short circuit brake, provided compliments of Korea. All of our air circuit breakers are made in Korea. Product details. So about that zero arc space, we have an arc cover that's included over the back of the frame here, as you see there. And then it shows some dimensionals for the arc space as well. Safety. So we have energy reduction maintenance settings. It's called ERMS in all of our OCRs except for the normal type. So if you want ERMS functionality, you would have to purchase an ammeter unit out of stock that's coming in the frame, that comes with the frame, obviously, or you could specify it on your order. So it's ammeter, power, or S type. And if you want digital outputs assigned to the ERMS, then you're going to have to migrate up to the power or the S type OCRs to be able to program the digital outputs so you can enunciate out to the field if you are in the ERMS mode. So when using the ERMS function, the instantaneous setting value is set to the minimum setting for 2 times IN, regardless of the real setting. So ERMS function is available via digital input. And like I said earlier, it's available for the digital output when it actually is in, and it's only for the P type or the S type OCRs. But the ERMS function is available for all the types except for normal type OCR. Safety, real-time temperature monitoring, like we just blurted out earlier. There's your temperature sensors. It shows where they're located inside the frame of the air circuit breaker. And we show you also a picture of temperature monitoring on the 5,000 amp frame over at our labs in Korea. Product details. So draw out handle and lock used for position changes, connected tests or disconnected. This is like an ISO standard for the globe. So it's just a quick, easy way to show what's the status of the air circuit breaker frame and where it is as far as being, what position it's in being drawn out. So it's just a simple little process of hitting a button and turning the bar multiple times to be able to draw it in or draw it out. Customer convenience, wide control voltage range for accessories. So we get these calls all the time. We get a customer calling us and they want accessories after the fact. So they ordered it because we had it in stock and they needed a bunch of them, and that's great. And we got it out there, and then all suddenly the characteristics for the install location is a little different as far as the control voltages. So this is what we have. The motor is good for DC 24 to 30 volts or 48 to 60 volts. AC DC 100 to 130. Obviously, that one is used quite often, or 200, alternatively 200 to 250 volts. And then AC 48 or 380, 415, 440, and 480 volts. They're in red, but those are going to be special orders. So the closing coil, same as follows. So the heavy hitters are the AC DC 100, 130, and then for our energy storage sector, they're after the 24 to the 30 volts DC, obviously, because you're out in the field with 24 to 30 volts. Also, under voltage strip coil, under voltage time delay and controller, and obviously the auxiliary switch. The standard is 5A, 5B. So if you order something out of stock, our standard auxiliary switch is 5A, 5B. The non-standard is 3A, 3B, but I don't know why you would ever want to go, order special less contacts. So customer convenience, various connection types available. Customer can change vertical, horizontal up to 32 amp frames. We get these calls or these questions quite often. Or when we're in the quoting stage, all we have is horizontal and they want it vertical and we're okay. as long as you're below 3200 amp frames. Power connections, horizontal again, vertical, front, or mixed type, is shown below here. Okay, customer conveniences, easy to install accessories. Most of them are easy until you get to the two-way and three-way interlocking mechanism, and then that requires some extra precautions and length of skill of the installation person that's actually doing the job. If you have anything in question, you could always have us do it for you. But anything as an accessory option on your purchase order, and make sure you clarify on the purchase order that you want that option, you want it factory installed. Structure of air circuit breaker, there actually is videos up on the internet showing this in a 3D or 2D, actually 3D video showing quickly how the structure is put together. It's pretty cool, and it's for free and for everybody available to look it up. Just look up LS Electric America air circuit breaker detail, and it'll come up within the latest SUSO offering. Structure of the cradle, you're showing the shutters in the back there. You're showing the top there, airspace unit there. It's nice little drawing there. But then again, there's a video that animates this. As far as the OCRs, intelligent trip relay. So various types of trip relays are available. We have the normal type, the N type, which is self-powered and current protection. It does have built-in LSIG. Then we move on to the A type or the ammeter type. It does current protection and metering. It has some digital outputs, and it has ERMS, like we spoke with earlier. And then the use quite often is the communication through Modbus RTU. And of course, it has all of our OCRs have LSIG. Then you move on to the P type or the power type. That just does your harmonics up to the 61st. And it also provides the unbalanced protections and also everything of the N type and A type. One little note on the N type is, since it is self-power, you do need about 20% load for the unit to actually OCR to light up. Your protections and your safeties are all there, except for it won't light up until you have 20% load. So a lot of people move over to the A type. Super type, S type, it's the P type positive. It does the harmonics to the 63rd and default records of ERMS, and has also the digital outputs. And we're going to be moving on off this anyways. This is the older OCR, and later in this presentation coming up here, we're going to go over our new smart trip unit that replaces these old OCRs anyways. Intelligent trip relay continued. So this just shows a little breakdown of the N, ammeter, power, and super. And it just shows the period showing the capabilities and features of each OCR. Obviously increases as you go up for the scale of the OCR features and capability, and also with the price. So it gets more expensive for the P and S type units. One more note, this is actually just right out of the OCR manual. So we do a power quality harmonics, and we do 16 different types of metering, and then 7 kinds of protection right out of the OCR. So it's pretty full featured. And again, it does LSIG, and this is all going away because we have the new STU unit. So just last puff of air on the intelligent AAA, the OCR does Modbus 485, and with an option, it does Profibus DP, but then it needs to be, you need a trio module. So the trio module here is shown here up here, the right-hand side here. So again, you're going to need the trio unit for Modbus Profibus DP with our new STU unit. Accessories for the air circuit breaker. So we have the AAA OCR, which is number 1, then the motor, the closing coil, then the shunt coil, undervoltage trip coil, door interlock. So these are all just showing all the options and features for anything outside the OCR and the frame. So it's just another bunch of pictures, and this is coming right from our catalog. Here's all the options available for the accessories with the cradle type. Catalog numbering. So I threw this in here because a lot of people are new to this, and it's right in the catalog. So I'll explain. So over UAS, this is the frame type. So you have 2 types of frame sizing for the frame. It's 800 or 1600 amp. Then you just have to select it's either a 3 or 4 pole standard. Number of poles, 3 or 4, and then obviously your range of 4 to 800 amps or the 800 amp to 1600 amp. And then the mounting internals, you have to tell us if it's horizontal, vertical, whatever. But again, like I said earlier, that they're interchangeable. UAH is the most popular, very, very similar to UAS. Frame sizes go up to 5,000, now 6,000 amps. 3 or 4 pole standard. You have the sensor rating from 4 to 800, 16, 3200, and up to 5,000 amps. Make sure you also let us know if there's a rating plug that need to be ordered. You could order it at the time of ordering. I think the list price is like $50 out the gate, so it's very inexpensive to have the rating plug put in there. And we have the UAA type numbering system here. Not going to go over it. It's not a big hot seller, but it's out there and capable for the UAA type. And then for the accessory with the air circuit breaker, so the motor operators, these are the identifiers in the product finder, and it's also the identifiers in our air circuit breaker tool. So we have M8 means none, and then M1 through M8. Don't be too confused that for those who get into vacuum circuit breakers, these accessories are all different outlines. So the motor operators are different voltages. So that's something that's a catch-20. If you're doing this all day long between air circuit breakers and vacuum circuit breakers, there's very different layout as far as the voltages and the coding. So I just want to bring that out to everybody. So you have ones for the shunt strip, and then you have closing coil, charging auxiliary switch, and under voltage strip. And then our options are continued here on the next page. And these are all the difference for the alarm outputs. So if you look in our stock and our product finder, you'll notice that we have certain types in stock already available. And this is the breakdown of what you can see for that breakdown for those options. So the ones that are most popular is AL, and then A1 are the very popular ones that we have in stock. Key locks. We also have supporting knowledge base articles that we put up there as an applications team. So to cut some of the questionable way of ordering. Some of these are available in stock, and then all these K options are not normal stocked items. So you want to go up to our knowledge base and look up interlock. Just type in our knowledge base underneath LS Electric America. Click on support, power, and underneath there's the search box. Just type in interlock, and then everything with interlocks will come up. Our door interlock, our Kirky interlock. So some of the Ks are not readily available. They have to be special ordered. Catalog numbering for the cradle, pretty self-explanatory. You just have to basically say term of communication, number of poles, and then obviously the ampere frame, and obviously the arc cover if you want an arc cover or not. So the review, key air circuit breaker specifications required for selection. So your breaker, your voltage selection for AC or DC, frame type, UAS, UAH, or UAW. Again, heavy hitter is the UAH. We have a lot of in stock at their 100 KAIC. Frame size, amps, and then sensor rating. So you look at the frame size, and then you follow through with the sensor rating you're looking for, and then obviously follow through with the rating plug. Phasing is either 3 or 4 pole. Terminal connection types for vertical, horizontal, withdrawable. The controls is a motor charge, closed coil, shunt trip, and under voltage trip. The charge auxiliary switch is the on charge or an off charge type. It all depends on your application or what the customer will want for either the charge is on the on charge or while it's on off. OCR type must have an OCR, so you can order an air circuit breaker without one. So again, they're normal, ammeter, power, or supreme types. Usually the customer define what they need for what features they need. OCR power type options are all LSIG. So long thermal, short thermal, instantaneous, and ground are all in all of our OCRs. Add-on accessories, you have to look at the auxiliary contacts, the door and lock, etc. So it's just getting through some of the newer products. So we have under our SUSO line, which means it's UL. We have a UAS structure of 635. It's UL 1066. We're going to be going over the certifications and UL later in the slide deck. We'll have it there for anybody available. After this presentation, just put in the chat that you would like to have a copy of this slide deck, and we'll gladly send that out to you. So I'm just saying it out there now before I forget. So arch quenching technology. So we have gassing materials. We have a little plate. We have electromagnetic forces to control the arc. So that just directs the arc a certain way to that plate. And then we have an exhaust system, obviously, for the blast gases. Obviously, Nazonia is actually going to get blasted out the top near the back of the breaker. So away from conductors and away from humans that might be around it. We have an 847, the 3200 amp frame, the UAW. Again, world's first products. It's up to 847 volts. Check your stock, but it is a standard certification for UL 1066. We also have a UDA DC 1500 volts, 1600 amp C frame. I don't think we have anything in stock. It'd be special order, but the certifications are UL 49 and it's certified UL. Don't have a lot of information on it, but I'm just letting you know that it's out there. So it's the world's first UL 1500 volts DC, and I'm pretty sure it's IEC. They're saying it's UL, but we don't have any in stock. Then there's the DDV and UDA DC 1500 2500 D frame. Again, it's a IEC product, and then they're saying it's UL 49. Again, we don't have any in stock, but I'm thinking globally we have them out there somewhere, and coming to a future near us here in the United States. Same with the DDX. Not going to go over too much. It's just all the newcomers going out there for your energy storage type stuff. New products. So this is what I wanted to get to in the presentation. So the new products are smart AC breakers. So it's called the smart trip unit. So replacing the old OCR, they're high measurement precision. So current voltage is 0.5%. It's power class 1. It has an enlarging relay elements, so it's more accurate. It has enhancing self-diagnosis, which is pretty cool. So it comes up with, better than your normal average error codes from the old OCRs, and does allow a mobile connection through a mobile app, and also be able to talk to the cloud system. And the HMI is available in color in the S type. So again, just like the before, the NAPS type. This is the brief summary again, and it's very similar to the old OCRs. The N type is device operation through self-power. Current relay function supports USB connection and an available NFC communication by option. Okay, it's not a big heavy hitter, but Korea thought it was a good idea to have it. So again, if you want the ERMS function, you're just going to have to go with move up to the A type or the P type or the S type up on order. Those are the ones that are for the projects, for the data centers and stuff like that. They obviously don't care about the USB connection so much. They care about the Modbus RTU capability and also the built-in ERMS function, which limits the blast. So you have the P type and then you have the S type. We're going to go over a little bit more in depth in the next few slides. So the STU specifications, this is right out of the catalogs, so I didn't make any of this up. So all it is the screenshots just showing all the STU specifications of the N and the G and the O, what it stands for, and then the A type, and then all the different middle character there. Okay, so I want to explain something also. So if you have an old OCR, or if you're looking at an old OCR, or if you're using the air circuit breaker price tool, everything in the pricing tool is not updated for the new STUs. So there actually is another converter that we have here at LS Electric that will convert the new coding, and the coding changes for the middle digits. So if you have any questions, please contact the 800 number or reach out to us by tech support email, and we'll either gladly forward that on to you or decode it for you for your next purchase. So right now in stock, we have a mix of the old OCRs with the air circuit breakers, and we also have new air circuit breakers with the new STU employed. So it's a little confusing, I understand. So there's a new coding scheme, and if you're using our tool, it won't come up with the new code for the center digit. So if you need that, it's in a catalog, or if you have any questions, give us a call. There's also a new S-type configuration only for the super type. It's the element protection function group summary. I'm not going to go this in depth for those projects and those engineers that are out there designing systems that need selective zone interlocks and an ERMS, and they also need some advanced functions as far as protections. the S-type is the one for them. And we'll work with Korea on whatever they're after and make sure we get the right OCR for what fits their needs. So the new product, Smart AC Breaker, Smart Trip Unit STU. There's the preventing alerting of malfunctions due 13 types of self-diagnostic function, which is better than the old CR. So we have a battery low alarm, a rating plug unmatched error, which is pretty cool because it happens a lot. People put the wrong rating plug in there and they're wondering why nothing works on the OCR. Ampere frame error. That's when you're hooking up the wrong rating plug. MTD fail, which is STU is not assembled with an MTD or trip coil disconnected, which is pretty cool. It's monitoring it. Factory configuration error. I've never seen one, but apparently could happen. Device type error, rating plug information, overheat error. So internal temperature of the CPU is over 100 degrees or 115 degrees in PS type. So obviously, if the ambient air is that hot, we're going to be triggering an alarm for that. Contact wear alarm, which is pretty good. That's for your reliability folks out there. For people who buy into these more expensive OCRs, they get some reliability built in there and basically gives you a contact wear bit being set that the on-offs have been accessible over time, and maybe you want to take a diagnose and take a look at the contacts. Electrical open circuit counter over alarm, mechanical open counter over alarm, RTC error, memory error, and of course CT disconnection. So if you remove the CTs, it'll come up with an error. So accessories, this is a pretty nice picture. It's right out of some book that I found somewhere. I think right out of the catalog of the new SCU, which just shows you the air circuit breaker installed into a communications network. So we have a power module, the trio, like I mentioned earlier, and then you could take it onto a gateway, and obviously you can look at a local HMI panel if you wish, or that HMI panel could be somewhere else in the industrial airspace, and then you have the cloud or a local computer sitting there looking at it all. So that's just showing capability of the communications network. Bluetooth or NFC functions. So we have built-in Bluetooth, and we have also the NFC functions built in that works with the app. It's pretty seamless how it works, and it just pulls the data up. Some people like it, some people hate it. But if you buy the PRS type that has the BLE antenna built in, then they have the ability to be able to talk to your app. And it's just another screen showing the app. So the temperature, open, close status, operation monitoring, and digital input, digital output extensions. These are all the specifications that people are looking for. So this is going to be a quick lookup for you versus going to catalog. So again, if anybody wants this presentation, just put it in the chat afterwards or reach out to us by email, and we'll glad you forward you, not the PowerPoint, but it'll be a PDF of this presentation. This just shows the Ethernet converter that converts to RS-485 to Ethernet. So that's going to be coming out a very hot, popular item going forward here. Everybody wants Ethernet, so it could go long distances and pass through switches easy. So another option is a thermal cam connected with a gateway through USB cable to monitor communication device information and check thermal images. So it's an option. I guess it's out there, and I'm pretty sure we don't have any in stock. It'll be a special order item from Korea. Color graphic and touch paddle on the S-type. So we have everything in colors, so it's better candy to the eyes. So if you're looking at your phasing or your individual currents from A, B, C, and neutral, you're looking at your phase vector. It just makes it a little easier to the eye to be able to understand what's going on in the electrical circuit. So we also, the new STU, there's no need for an extra space for the VDM and the switchgear space now. It's included in the OCR now. So if you want that in the new STU, that's one of the capabilities that you get. That's the compact OCR frame size. Is showing a little picture there at 5 o'clock showing that it's built into the new STU unit, and so it's a lot less to field wire out in the field and getting in the way of others. Operating air circuit breaker by changing the digital output settings. So this is just element drawing showing how to operate through a remote input circuit and also how to operate through a remote output circuit. We have OCR testers, so we have OCR testers in stock for the old OCRs, and then we have an OCR tester for the new stews. There actually is a difference in a part number, and we also have that outlined in our knowledge base. For those who don't know how to get to our knowledge base, go to OS Electric America, click on support, click on power, and in the search box, just type in tester. It'll come up. It'll come up with all of them, and we show the difference we do between the three of them. Then we have a very old OCR, then we have a newer OCR, and then we have the brand new STU OCR up there with the item numbers. So SUSE server rigor, so standards for safety. So for UL 1066, so we operate a range of the 800 volts, max Vmax of 847. And so the new requirements essentially in accordance with rules and subject data for July 30th, 2021. So basically maximum op voltage operating, so 254, 508, 635, 730, and 847, and 953, or 10,058 for application of systems having a nominal voltage of those ranges as well, up to 1,000 volt. So this is basically just clarifying the 1066 UL that we have on our product. The certifications. So we are UL 1066 and ANSI C37. The breakdown of the ANSI C37 is to the right in the center. So we have ANSI C37, 13, 16, 17, and 50. And we're UL 1066 and obviously Canadian UL as well. And we also are Marine certified on this product as well, and CAPEC for Korea. So I'll get this in a slide deck. So if you need this for future customers and showing them, this is what you got. All right. Any questions? I'm opening up for questions, opening up the mic or some, for people to chime in at this time.